Our lives are intricately tied to natural resources. Whether it's the land beneath our feet, the water we drink, or the forest we admire, these resources sustain us. Thus, today we are going to study about land, soil, and various natural resources and how they affect our life. Let's begin. Nina lives in a Tanzanian village where she helps at her home. Her family struggles to grow food on rocky land. Whereas Taylor lives in New Zealand on a farm managed with modern technology. His family runs a wool factory and practices organic farming. Nina's and Taylor's lives differ greatly due to the availability of resources like land, water, and technology. This indicates that the type of environment in the region influences the lifestyle of the people. Now, let's understand what natural resources are. Natural resources are resources that exist without any actions of humankind. Thus, water, air, soil, minerals, coal, forests, crops, and wildlife are all examples of natural resources. Various natural resources are land, soil, water, natural vegetation, and wildlife. Out of total, the resources available for us to use are limited. Land. Land is a critical natural resource, covering 30% of the Earth's surface. 90% of the world's population inhabits only 30% of the land area. The rest is uninhabited. Factors influencing uneven habitation include climate, soil fertility, topography, mountains, forests, deserts. Land is used for agriculture, mining, housing, roads, and industries. Influencing factors for land use are physical factors, topography, soil, climate, water availability. Human factors, population and technology. The demand for land by the people is growing, but the availability of land is limited. Increasing population is the major challenge. Conservation of natural resources is important. Challenges include population growth, large-scale destruction of forests. The common methods used to conserve land resources are afforestation, regulated use of chemical pesticides and fertilizers. Soil is a natural resource and a thin layer of grainy substance covering the surface of the earth. Soil is made up of organic matter, minerals, and weathered rocks found on earth. Soil is the uppermost layered structure which spreads from the parent rocks. The four layers are soil with humus and vegetation, soil with sand, silt, and clay, weathered rock material, parent rock. The major factors of soil formation are the nature of the parent rock and climatic factors. Other factors are the topography, organic material, and the time taken for soil formation. Climate determines temperature and rainfall, influencing the rate of weathering and humus. Landslides. Landslides are the breaking up and decay of rocks caused by temperature changes, frost action, plants, animals, and human activity. The landslides can be dangerous for humans and animals. A massive landslide struck Pangi village in Kinnar district, Himachal Pradesh, damaging the old Hindustan-Tibet Road National Highway 22. The landslide was triggered by intense blasting in the area, causing the unstable slope to collapse. This led to severe damage to the road and nearby villages. The entire Pangi village was evacuated to prevent any potential loss of life. Advancements in scientific techniques have enhanced our ability to identify the causes of landslides. Hazard mapping. Identifying areas prone to landslides. Mitigation strategies include constructing retention walls to prevent land from slipping, increasing vegetation to stabilize the land, surface drainage control to manage the flow of water. Water is a vital renewable natural resource. 3/4 of the Earth's surface is covered with water. Therefore, it is called a water planet. Now let's talk about water availability problems. Causes include seasonal/annual precipitation variation, overexploitation, and pollution. Drought-prone regions include Africa, West Asia, South Asia, parts of the Americas, and Australia. The major problem of today's world is a shortage of clean water. Sewage, agriculture, and industrial waste pollute the water with metals and pesticides. Methods to conserve water resources are forests and vegetation cover slow the surface runoff and replenish underground water. The water harvesting method can also be used to save surface runoff. Canals used for irrigation should be checked for water losses through seepage and evaporation. In dry regions, drip or trickle irrigation is very useful. Natural vegetation and wildlife exist only in the biosphere. The narrow zone of contact between the lithosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere is called the biosphere. In the biosphere, living beings are dependent on each other for survival. This system is known as the ecosystem. Natural vegetation and wildlife provide us with shelter, food for animals, and various resources. There is equilibrium between the different spheres of the environment: geosphere, atmosphere, and hydrosphere. Forests are areas having abundant water supply. These areas have heavy rainfall and huge trees. Grasslands are areas with short, stunted trees and grasses that grow in moderate rainfall. Thorny shrubs and scrubs grow in dry areas. The plants have deep roots and leaves with a thorny, waxy surface. Tundra vegetation of cold polar regions comprises mosses and lichens. Evergreen and deciduous forests do not shed their leaves simultaneously in any season. Forests as a resource provide essential habitat for wildlife, support ecosystems, and contribute to biodiversity. Threats to the natural vegetation and wildlife can be mitigated. Threats to biodiversity include climate change, alters natural habitats, impacting plant and animal species, human activities, deforestation, soil erosion, construction, and forest fires disrupt habitats. Poaching, illegal hunting for hides, skins, teeth, horns, and feathers threatens species such as tigers, lions, and rhinoceroses. Conservation efforts include protected areas, national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, and biosphere reserves safeguard natural habitats. Legal protection, laws prohibit the hunting and trade of endangered species, lions, tigers, and peacocks in India. International agreements, CITES, Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species, restricts trade in threatened species. Public awareness and education are crucial. Programs like social forestry and nature camps educate people about wildlife. School initiatives encourage bird watching and nature exploration among students. Conservation is a shared duty. Protecting biodiversity ensures balance and sustainability for future generations. Glossary: National Park, a natural area designated to protect the ecosystems for the present and the future generation. Biosphere reserves, series of protected areas linked through a global network, intended to demonstrate the relationship between conservation and development. The Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora is an international agreement between governments. It aims to ensure that trade in specimens of wild animals and plants does not threaten their survival. In conclusion, understanding natural resources and their conservation is vital for a balanced ecosystem. From land and water to vegetation and wildlife, every resource plays a crucial role in our environment. Protecting these resources helps ensure a sustainable future for generations to come. We hope that you have understood the topic. You can now study chapter notes, watch video lectures, and solve MCQ test of this chapter on EduRev to ensure you score well in your school exams. And that's not all. You also get amazing courses for maths, science, English, Hindi, and much more for class 8. Thank you.